you about Mason Jones tonight. I know he's undrafted and sort of thrust into this role tonight as a point guard. What did you think of his performance tonight, and how do you see him when you're fully healthy fitting into the league, and how his style of play is?
Yeah, I mean, I was proud of him for tonight. He came in last game and did a good job and earned the right to have the start tonight, to get the start tonight. And, you know, he can score. He can really score. I mean, shoot, he had 24 points tonight and was our only primary ball handler. Jayshawn Tate handled the ball a little bit. But as we're going forward, it's really just a readiness thing. Obviously, we have John Wall and Eric Gordon coming back, so that's less minutes for him. But as far as like long-term stuff, he showed that he could play, you know, and he did it on a rough night when we only had 8 guys, and it was a defense that was definitely kind of honed in on him because they knew that he was really the only primary ball handler that we had. So I was definitely proud of him for this game, but for his approach, his daily approach, because you don't get to have this game without a consistent, hardworking daily approach.
Jonathan Fagan.
Stephen, as much as you guys approach this game as wanting to win it and find a way to win it, is there sort of an understanding that if something's not working, there's not a lot of options left to make I'm thinking offensively, to make that work?
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely hard to kind of get into running plays and going to certain guys and that sort of thing. So we really played a lot of 5 out, give it to Seawood and let him, you know, make the next play and trying to keep the ball moving as much as possible. But, you know, it's hard. It's hard when you only have 8 guys and 1 primary ball handler and guys who are thrust into roles that they aren't necessarily used to. So overall, I thought we did an admirable job, but it was just hard.
Mark Berman. Mark?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just trying to get – can you hear me?
Yes.
Trying to get unmuted. Okay, kind of a twofold thing. Even number one, I think you're kind of asked this pregame. I don't know if you heard anything more. When you think you might have John Wall and Eric Gordon back, and the part 2 of that question is, can you talk a little bit about adding Oladipo now that it's official?
Yeah, so getting those guys back is like a day-to-day thing. Hopefully, I believe that Eric's a little bit further ahead than John, but we'll find out more tomorrow as they go through treatment and kind of figure out what that looks like. And to have Vic is, I mean, exciting. He kind of fits into a lot of the things that I believe as far as having someone who can be a go-to type guy, someone who can be a downhill player, someone who makes his teammates better, big shot taker, not afraid of the moment, but also a quality defensive-minded player. You know, he's a true two-way guy who can be effective on the offensive end, but also change the game defensively as well. So we're definitely excited to have him and join the team, and we're gonna hopefully get him out there sooner than later. He was here cheering for his teammates tonight, but definitely itching to get on the floor, hopefully in Chicago.
Kelly Eco.
Hey, Coach, earlier in the season, you talked about Christian Wood's defense as kind of a process, but over the last couple of games, he's shown real signs of improvement on that end. How has that been for you, just seeing him go through his progressions?
Yeah, you're so right, Kelly. I mean, he is really coming along. It was a tough matchup for him with Aldridge, obviously, for these 2 games, because Aldridge has the ability to post up, but he also has the pick and pop game, which is hard because those guys are coming downhill, and Seawood has to really kind of be the middle linebacker in those situations and get everybody organized. So he did a really good job of that over these 2 games. And it's a building process, and we know that there's going to be dips as we go along, but he's learning exactly what to say And like I've said before, a lot of times people are like, you have to communicate, you have to talk on defense, but sometimes it's up to a coach and a coaching staff to give guys what to say, and that gets everybody organized. And it's up to the players to learn exactly what to say. And he's learning what to say, and the domino effect is everybody else around him being organized. So he's doing a good job of it. He's learning. He's getting better. And these are 2 games for him to build upon.
Cody Davis.
Hey, Coach. So far this season, are you a bit surprised to see the production that you are getting from Christian Wood, Mason Jones, and Jayshawn Tate, especially knowing that all 3 of these guys went undrafted?
Yeah, I didn't even really think about the fact that they all were undrafted guys, but Rafael does a good job. He picks out guys who maybe are overlooked, or maybe they haven't had the success up to this point, and believes in our system and our ability to make them better. If they're Mason Jones or Jayshawn Tate, he has trust in John Lucas as a player development guy to make these guys better. For Christian Wood, he has trust in me to put in a scheme that makes sense for Christian and lets him play to his strengths. So, it's great for those guys to produce the way that they have. Most of the credit goes to them and the adversity that they've gone through getting to this point, because on draft night, if your name isn't called, that's the adversity that you have to deal with. And what are you going to do at that point?
We'll take 2 more. Christos Saltis.
Coach, I would like to ask you how satisfied you are about the approach and the desire of your players about the last couple of games, and also how different will gonna be the look with Victor Oladipo on the court and the players who will return from injuries.
Yeah, so I love our approach over the last 2 games. Obviously, last game was great. We won the game. Tonight we hung in, I feel like, as long as we could. We got tired, and you could see it, and we turned the ball over way too much, which is disappointing but understandable, because we didn't have anybody to really initiate offense besides Mason. But the way that Victor fits in, it really is John and Victor kind of sharing the ball, sharing the opportunities, setting up situations kind of in the same way what James was here, where they both can touch the ball, setting up little quick actions to where they're both able to play to their strengths. And it's going to be a process. It's not going to be something that happens immediately. I'm going to have to learn them. I've done a lot of study on Victor, obviously, but you don't know a guy until you coach him. And there's little things that you can do based on experience with the guy that'll help him play to his strengths. And that's my job moving forward.
And last question, Kelly Iko.
Hey, Coach, early in the season, you also talked about, being versatile on defense, and late in the game, do we see some zone? I think there was some zone trapping.
Yeah, so we did a few things tonight. We played our base. We played some 2-3 zone. We got into some blitzing and pick and rolls, and we also trapped the ball as it came over half court. So those are things that are slowly but surely we're going to be adding to our menu of things that we do defensively. But the zone was something that we wanted to put in, and tonight or today in our walkthrough seemed like the perfect time, because we knew we were going to only have 8 guys, and we knew that we were going to have to conserve some energy some way, somehow. So Will Weaver, he was the guy who suggested today being the day, putting the zone in, and